Aaron Tuttle here for Ferguson Roof Systems. For 43 years, Ferguson Roof Systems has been protecting Oklahoma's homes and businesses with quality roofing services. Their goal was to be the most honest and dependable roofing company in the state, all while providing free services such as lifetime labor warranty and annual inspections. Well, mission accomplished with thousands of client testimonials, an A+ Better Business Bureau rating, and a 5-star rating on Google. Look, the weather gives you enough to worry about, so why worry about who to trust with your roof? Call Ferguson Roof Systems today or find out more at fergusonroofsystems.com.
Hey there, it is Sunday night here in Oklahoma City. I'm going to talk about the forecast for the entire state surrounding areas for your upcoming work week. Didn't have a chance to read my blog. All the details are in there. Feel free to like and share that at any time. But here I'm going to give you a little bit of a visual recap of what's going to happen. This will be a kind of a shorter version. I'm trying to shorten these down. I know it's hard because I like to show you so much data and teach you along the way. So it's tough to kind of squeeze it all in. But I try to do my best and talk as fast as I can while still making sense. I hope that makes sense. All right, well, thanks for joining me tonight here in Rumble Land, also on YouTube and on Facebook pages, both the main page and the private group page. I put on the link in Facebook where you can join the Facebook broadcast channel and or the opt-in weather updates. Both of them will do the same functionality, let you know when I do go live. And then we'll kind of go from there as we build up those platforms. Okay, so let's see. Let's get on with the program, shall we? Like I said, this will be kind of quick because I got some things to do, man. I got to go to work in the morning. Let's see. So, yeah, I see you guys out at the gym. Yeah, Lisa did beat you today. Why are you letting that happen? She must have her finger on the button. Okay, let me see here. First thing I want to do is, let's do this. Obviously, man, it was nice today. Whew. I mean, right there, currently, I'm still looking pretty good. I've got a temperature in the almost 50. I mean, I was going to say in the low 50s. We finally hit into the upper 40s. So that's pretty decent for us after seeing what we've seen the last, couple of weeks out there. Matter of fact, let me show you what today's highs look like across the state, and I think you're going to like it. We did see some 60s out there. So the coldest or coolest weather, I guess you could say, put in that category, cool, would be into the 50s, mid-50s at that, far eastern Oklahoma. Otherwise, upper 60s to near 70 out here across western parts of the state. Looks like Butler had the high there, about 68 degrees. That was a sweet spot in Oklahoma. Otherwise, right around 60 here in Oklahoma City metro area. Okay, so the storm system, let's take a look at it. Jet stream pattern, we'll start with that. Now, as you remember, if you watch me long enough, if you're new here, we look at the 500 millibar pattern, and the brighter the color, the better the lift, which means the better the precipitation that will fall around that area. So let's take a look here. We'll put this into motion for you. I'm going to zip this through really until about Thursday. Now, what I'm going to do is kind of stop it. What I'm going to show you is this little system here that dives out of Canada down across the Midwest and to the east. That's going to pump the ridge right here, which is this little, these lines that go up like this. That's ridging. This is troughing, trough axis. So that's our little upper level low here, and there's one up here in Canada. There's actually a little baby one down here. But what happens is that allows some cold air to spill out of Canada and dive southward across the eastern plains and into the Midwest behind this upper level low. So we're getting a little taste of some cold air that's going to sneak in here and ruin what was a good thing, like what we started with today. All right, so as we go into, let's go to Wednesday morning. There was that pattern still kind of locked in. And then by the time we head into late Wednesday and Thursday, that ridge kind of breaks down a little bit for us as this little trough starts to kick in down here across Mexico, New Mexico. So that'll start our first wave of rainfall for Thursday. Meanwhile, the ridge reestablishes itself across central Canada, the far northern plains. So we get rain for Thursday with this little system moving across. This ridge allows another area of cold air to kind of come in down to the south as we head in toward the weekend. So that'll set the stage for that one. While at the same time, we do have another trough axis kicking in. Big, long wave trough here across all the way from really the coastline of Portland all the way down here to Mexico. So that's going to be a big rain and snow maker for the Rockies and for us in Texas and Oklahoma. And that is as we head into the weekend. Here's Saturday. Let's go into Saturday evening into Sunday. And here's where you see the strong upper level low kind of taking shape here across North Texas. And that'll zip through quickly to the south and east by midday Sunday. and then we've kind of got this ridge still anchored up here. And so again, what we're going to watch for is that this upper level low hangs more along the Red River versus going like due southeast like this. And if it stays along the Red River, we got a better potential for seeing more precipitation across the state on Sunday than we do if it drives down the south and east. Also, we'll have cold air that dips in this jet stream pattern. It kind of backdoor into Oklahoma. So we're going to see what happens on Sunday. Sunday's a wild card. We could end up getting a little bit of snow here across the state as a result of that. But I want to show you that was the overall big picture of the pattern that I needed to point out to you. Now let's track in where our next round of cold air is going to come from. And it's a little sneak attack. So it doesn't look like much. But what we're going to watch for is a little surface high pressure here across western Canada formed right in this area. And it's going to zip down kind of about like so. It's going to start here. It's going to kind of go do right here. So watch this little track. I'm going to play this. So we're going to look for it. All right, so here I'm starting to see some hints here. This is on late Monday night. And then we're going to go, let's see, where are we? Let's go to Tuesday midday. Boy, it sneaks in here. You can barely even see. I'm going to remove that blue arrow just so you can make it out. But here it is, sneaking down in here. So let's go to Tuesday night. You're going to see an H pop up on the map. As it finally, there you go, closes off. So it sneaks in here. I mean, it's a little baby guy, and it comes in kind of in this little pattern. So what that means is it's just cold enough that's going to cause a little wreck to the warm-up for the northeastern half of the state compared to, say, the southwestern half of the state as we head from Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. All right, then that high kind of moves on off to the east. And then after that, we'll have another potential high coming in here for the weekend, like I mentioned. And it may or may not show, let's see. Oh, let me see if the icon model's far enough out for that. If not, I'll come back to it. Let's see. Yeah, it just now is starting to show us. So here's the big high here. And here's the isobars associated with it, and kind of in this pattern by Friday night and Saturday. So most of the cold air is off to our east, but it's going to backdoor in behind that upper low that develops. And we're going to see how much this cold air can race in Oklahoma before the lift moves out. And then that will set the stage, like we said, for a little bit of rain and snow mix on Sunday, potentially. All right, here's a look at the local view for precipitation. I want to show you that our next major precipitation is not going to come probably until Friday into Saturday, but we do have that little first wave that comes in here for Thursday morning. During the day on Thursday, very weak, very light, weak, scattered showers, nothing very heavy. Just enough to kind of ruin your car wash job, and that's about it. But it does stick around for Thursday night. Then we get to Friday. Things will start to calm down probably in the morning hours, but then by late day they should bubble up again. So by Friday afternoon and evening, we should start to see quite a bit more showers, maybe with some thunderstorms develop all the way into Texas, and those will be making the way to the east and northeast Friday night and the Saturday morning. So the heavy rainfall moves through Oklahoma during the day on Saturday. So your weekend plans are already going to be washed out for Saturday across the state. The question is, we wash them out for Sunday. So the European model likes to bring the snow in about as far south as the Panhandle into Kansas. The Icon model brought it down to here. And if it fills in the rest of our data here in the next couple of minutes, we'll pull that up and take a look, see if it's changed its mind. But regardless, by Sunday evening, as the lift moves away, the precipitation dries out with it. So it's only been a short, if it were to happen, about a 6-hour window from noontime to evening where we might squeeze out a little bit of snow. All right, nothing again substantial or measurable of significance at this point in time. Remember, we're still early in the event, though, and honestly, this is a reaching at this point because the data does not exactly support this 100%, but it's leaning toward that direction. So it's a trend that you'd have to watch. Okay, so the backdoor wind field, let's take a look at that. I want to show you, let's see, on Tuesday. So on Tuesday, we kind of have this north wind that comes in across the state in the afternoon hours. Originally, you don't really notice a big change in the temperatures, believe it or not. And then it's until we kind of get into Wednesday morning, you still kind of have this backdoor northeast wind, like so. And so that's kind of when you're going to notice the biggest effect of this front. Unfortunately, it's going to come a little moisture and cloud cover and a little bit of drizzle and some light precipitation. So here's a look at the cloud cover, for example, that comes in with that front as we head into Tuesday night, Wednesday morning. So here's Wednesday morning with the cloud cover about like so, which is pretty much right along the frontal band. And that means anywhere along this band and points to north and east might have a little bit of that fog drizzle type environment with it, which would be frozen as temperatures should be dipping around freezing point by early Wednesday morning and late Tuesday night in that area into northeast Oklahoma. The humidity will increase as well. Let me show you what that looks like. If I go to, let's go to Tuesday night into midnight. So you see how this little blob here starts to show up a little bit better. This is humidity value up around 96, 97, 98% versus southwest Oklahoma where you're in the low 80s. So if we go through the morning hours, you know, so that kind of expands south and west along with that front. It kind of zips on a little bit more down to the west from there through daybreak on Monday. So that's where we're going to have that moisture trapped in that frontal inversion layer. Temperatures, let's get to the fun part, right? I know it's going to be cold tonight. By the way, tomorrow morning, so this little patch of blue here that represents temperatures at or below freezing. So any moisture in the atmosphere could let into a little bit of fog type conditions. So just be prepared. Bridges and overpasses in that situation are vulnerable to being a little slippery in the morning. So be careful of that. It's a small area of the state, but one at least to be aware of if you're traveling. Otherwise, Monday afternoon, would you look at these numbers? That is almost 70 degrees in the southwestern quadrant of the state. Would not be surprised to see a 70 reading show up because we almost hit it today. So there you go. Nice weather across Oklahoma, even to the northeast, even though it's a little cooler. On Tuesday, though, that's where the wild card kind of comes in here for this first little system. Let's go to the noontime hour. Looks how we warm up into the 50s and 60s across southwest Oklahoma along the Red River, pretty much right around 70 degrees. Even all the way down to Dallas, looking good down there. Otherwise, see that kind of cool up here in northeast Oklahoma? That's what clouds start to kind of move on in for Tuesday afternoon. So they don't quite get as cool or warm as the rest of the state. Then that colder air kind of starts to work its way slowly southwest. So watch this little freezing line here expands. There's midnight, Tuesday night. All right, there's 3 o'clock in the morning. There's 6 o'clock in the morning. Look how that cool air is spanned all the way down here as that cold air backdoors in. And temperatures fall either at or below freezing, again, across this entire area here in blue by daybreak on Wednesday. Even it's 9 o'clock in the morning, still kind of hugging in this zone here. So again, that's what we're going to have to worry about for any freezing drizzle that develops. Now, by lunchtime, we're going to warm things up with the exception of northeast Oklahoma. Still almost 31 degrees in the Tulsa area, 40 here in Oklahoma City. As the edge of that cooler air mass starts to erode away, we start to warm things up. By afternoon, struggling to get out of the 30s here in northeast Oklahoma. Otherwise, 60s out west. So it's a great day if you're in western Oklahoma on Wednesday. Not so much if you're in eastern Oklahoma. And there's the 6 o'clock, 8 hour onward into the overnight period for Thursday night and Friday morning. It just stays kind of cold there in northeast Oklahoma. So again, kind of a little sneak attack for the week that's kind of messed things up. Now, the good news that we have is that temperatures have warmed quite a bit at the surface ground level. So in other words, our ground temperatures are now into the 40s statewide versus the, let's say, low 30s. The exception to the rule would be these far northern counties up here across the state. So what that means is primarily bridges and overpasses would be the problem with accumulating freezing drizzle into icy conditions. So the model is, this is early in the game, believe it or not, even at this stage, even though we're talking about a Tuesday night, Wednesday time frame. But the model data this morning was very robust about it. This evening, it kind of weakened a little bit. Matter of fact, I'll show you. This will be kind of cool to see. Let me do a model trend here. It's probably won't be able to show you more than just a couple of images, but we can see the comparison. So this is basically accumulating ice at ground level. So this was the first run. Oh, so it only is going to be able to go out this far. Oh, that's so lame. Oh, I thought there was another run we could have looked at. No, it really should have been. Let's see. Through Thursday morning? Yeah, I'll tell you what. Hold on. I think I can make that happen. Let's do this one. Because I think I don't need to go that far out. We can go Wednesday. Let's see if that happens. Okay. So there is the primary run, which indicated the frozen precipitation measurable, kind of in that band I talked about with the frontal zone, from Oklahoma City north and east on I-40 up I-35 and out I-44. Some of these values up around a 400th of an inch. You're thinking, well, that's nothing. No, trust me, 400th of an inch is an ice skating rink. 1/100th of an inch is an ice skating rink. That's not good either way. This is on rush hour traffic, so you don't want that at all. Anyway, that's the first run. Second run kind of backed off on the time, on the position, and weakened amounts just a hair. The run after that continued that trend. Back up to northeast Oklahoma and a little bit lighter. And their final run kind of stayed the same with the other run. So the question is, will this new trend here of at least lightning amounts and doing it mainly over here, will that continue? Right now, the data suggests, as far as the frontal position and temperatures go, it should be around this boundary here in central Oklahoma. So we'll be watching this for the data tomorrow and the next day to see how things pan out. But it does include measurable icing on the roadways all across pretty much western Missouri into at least eastern Kansas. So it'll be a messy roadway situation, especially for bridges and overpasses Tuesday night on into Wednesday morning across a large area. So that would be a lot of traffic accidents if the crews are not out there treating all the roadways. Now, again, reminder, we do have a potential little bit of patchy fog and so what we call freezing fog, where those temperatures are cold enough there in northern Oklahoma tonight. Otherwise, your forecast for the next few days should be primarily in the 60s. Here's Oklahoma City, just for example. You can always get your particular city on my weather app, AT's Weather to Go, available on Apple and Google Play. But I will caution you, I don't believe here in Oklahoma City and points north and east, we're going to be in the 60s. I think we're going to be topping out. Well, that 45 is not going to work either. Where are we going to be? Well, actually, in the afternoon will probably rebound. Pretty close to 50. But in the morning hours, we're going to be down here around 30 degrees. So this will be our spread here for Wednesday, it looks like. And then Thursday, sure, I don't have a problem with that. We're warming things up. And then Friday, rain starts to move in. So we'll see if we can hit 63 even with the rain moving in. And then, like I said, Friday's kind of a chilly day in the 50s. And then temperatures probably falling pretty good on Sunday. And if we can time things out just right, we can get a little bit of that rain with a little snow mixture on Sunday before that system moves on out and leaves us. So real quick, I'm going to show you the last thing, and then I'm going to wrap this up. So we're going to look at the vertical column of the atmosphere. Look at Tulsa on the NAM model. This is the vertical profile in the atmosphere right here. The red line, the green line is temperature dew point. This little dashed line right here is the freezing point. So as long as you can have this red line to the east, or excuse me, to the right of this yellow line, the freezing line, then you have temperatures all above freezing, which means any precipitation that were to occur would be all in the form of liquid. In other words, just the kind of stuff that's just non-threatening. However, focus your attention right down here at the bottom, because that's all we care about. And this is a very thin, shallow air mass. Let's see. Let's put this into motion. This is a 5 o'clock Tuesday. I'm going to go to 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. Look at that. Look how this thing is starting to creep this direction as more cold air piles in right at the bottom of this chart. It's right where we live and breathe. This is only about, good grief, it's like maybe 25 to 50 millibars deep. I mean, it is super shallow. All right, so there's midnight, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning. All right, so now we are now left of that freezing line. And since we're left of the freezing line, the output is now for freezing rain, as you can see here on the chart. So that means this will be a little bit of cloudiness, some fogginess, a very light freezing drizzle that would start in Tulsa, for example, based off of this model data at 3 o'clock in the morning. Here's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, noon, 1, 2. Finally, there's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And then we start to dry things out down here at the surface, and that would end any precipitation. So when you look at that on this chart to kind of see, okay, what does that look like? How much is that measurable? That kind of deal. We're looking at the cross-section of the atmosphere. All right, so we'll do this and this. All right, so these guys right here, when you hover your mouse over them and you kind of collect them up, it's about 1/100th to 2/100ths. This little line right here is the collective total that goes up, and you cross-reference this with the number on the right that says 1/100th. Like I said, the prior data had 2/100, so we shall see. The problem is 1/100 is enough to cause an ice skating rink, believe it or not. When we look at this timeline, this is midnight here. So like I said, this is about 3 o'clock in the morning, and this is noontime. So it's got from, now in the new data, it's got from 3 to noon for a little bit of that freezing drizzle that develops down here at the surface. So this is kind of a cool little tool that I like to use during the wintertime to really get down into the data to find out what's going to happen at a particular spot. Now, Oklahoma City had the same issue, but it wasn't nearly as robust with the precipitation. Let me see what it looks like here on the latest data. And then we're going to be out of here. Come on, you can do it. It's moving a little slow because I'm demanding a lot. All right. Okay, so this is daybreak. So basically 6 a.m. up to about, looks like 9 a.m. So this is the window for us here in Oklahoma City, where you got the little red showing up on the map, which is accumulating freezing drizzle, and it is so light it doesn't even come up to 100th. I mean, it's down here in less than that. Could that be wrong? Yeah, the signal's there, so that's the problem. Any moisture you get, bridges and overpasses, as long as it doesn't evaporate too quickly, will cause slick spots. So the question is how robust is the model data at a particular point in the forecast. All I can tell you is on the overall picture of things, as long as that front is in your area and you've got the moisture around and the cold air right around the freezing point, you obviously going to have to watch for that situation. So that's a little sneak attack that could happen here in the short term for Tuesday night and Wednesday morning. So be careful if you're heading out the roadways. Other than that, we'll watch for the rainfall that comes in, more substantial stuff from Thursday through the weekend. Wrapping up probably Sunday morning, unless we can get that upper level low to stay a little bit better to the north. And then we can have a little bit better wraparound moisture for Sunday, which could tap into some colder air that'll be coming in on the backside of an Arctic high up across the Great Lakes. Would tap into that, and then we might get a little bit of snow mixed in across at least the northern half of the state in the data that was today. Oh yeah, that was what I was going to do, was look at the icon model to see what it had done with that outcome. So let me do that, and then we'll go, because that's all there is really to see. Okay, let's see what it does here. All right, so there's our little rain deal. Oh, you didn't finish. Come on, man. All right, so this is the Saturday night deal. Oh, I like this look, though. Okay, so again, this is the ridging of, switch colors. So wraps around this this surface low, and the high does a little bit like this and a little like this. So it's a big high. All right, so it's centered up here, and you're going to have kind of a east-northeast flow that backs this colder air in to Oklahoma and Kansas and Colorado, etc. Now you can already see cold enough air has come into western Kansas and Colorado to get some snow going for Saturday night. So it's not out of the question, too far to imagine this stuff coming in a little bit more to the south into Oklahoma. Let me see what it does with the upper level low at that point in time. Let me switch to this guy here. And we'll see if it has a better viewpoint. So it also is going to take this system by Sunday morning more to the south here. It just basically just dives it. Let's go right here. So this is the low, basically here, and then it just dives it like in this track right here. See it? So if the track, instead of doing that, can just basically zip in like here and here, so maybe to this position, which isn't asking a whole lot, then we get a lot better wraparound on the north end of that, back up into this part of the state, so a little bit better lift will occur behind it to with that colder air that's coming in. So it's on the teeter-totter deal of it could go either way. Right now the model data is favoring it to go out of the state in time before that cold air comes in here, to before we can get some snow out of it. But it didn't stop very far away. It made it all the way to the Kansas border. So that's not too much of a stretch. Let's see. Oh, look at that. No, I brought it in. Look at that. Just at the last minute. Let me zoom in. It is a timing thing. All right, so there's our Saturday night, Sunday morning. There's midnight. And then here is 6 a.m. on Sunday. So this is the icon model. So it has a very nice heavy snow signal up here across northwest Oklahoma. But like I said, because that upper level energy is diving to the south and east, look how it evaporates as we head into the lunchtime hour, as it kind of works its way into central Oklahoma. It just starts to fall apart, and that's it. So again, we'll see what happens, but it does look like at least a little bit of snow in Oklahoma on Sunday. Most favorite area right now in the data is the northwestern parts of the state for sometime on Sunday. If it's not early morning, then up to around maybe lunchtime. And then we'll have to see what happens for the rest of the afternoon, depending on the track of the upper low. All right, so that's it. Those are the main highlights that I discussed in my blog, and you can take a look at that in the written form if you'd like, and share it. But on this video, like and share it. Please tell your friends and family about AT's weather. You can get the entire forecast for the whole week all at once, and the most accurate forecast in the area. I try to give the most advanced warning as I can on any big winter storms that may affect your travel. Look at this stuff pretty in depth. Even little things like the little freezing freezing drizzle or fog event kind of on a Tuesday night, Wednesday morning across the northeastern third of the state. That may be a bigger deal too. We'll see. The latest data has kind of trended a little drier with that, but it's still there. So we'll see what happens in the newer data for tomorrow, and of course the data that comes out on Tuesday. And if it's still there, then you'll hear everybody talking about it. So the confidence will build as the models kind of come into an agreement. The biggest reason as to why most of the models don't know it's coming is because they don't have the step resolution to see 25 to 50 millibars deep, which is only a few hundred feet off the ground. And they're like, oh, there's something happens in that area? We don't really look way above that. So that's the issue with that. So this model's pretty good, the NAM, at picking that up. So that's why I like it. We'll see what happens, though, with it. If it doesn't work, if it doesn't happen, well, it's good. If it does, well, I don't know what to tell you other than hang on the steering wheel. All right, we'll be back probably throughout the week off and on, give you some updates on the weather. But I appreciate you guys stopping by tonight. Have a great rest of your night and good sleep and a great work week. And we'll talk again soon. Take care.